Welcome into the weekly peel with John and Peter. Peter, how was your doctor's appointment?
I really didn't think we would follow up on that.
Oh,
Dude,
we're
it was
following
good.
up.
It was good. I've got to follow up in a month. I'm feeling good.
Any bad news?
No, actually, only good news. Only good
Wow.
news. Yep.
Wow. Praise God. That's amazing.
I know. Breakthrough after breakthrough. Um, I'm curious, what is the temperature where you are today?
Oh,
Because
go ahead.
here is crazy. Like I looked at the app I have and it has like at 3 o'clock, it's gonna get up to like 90, no, 101. And it's gonna
No
feel,
way.
and that's just like, and then the heat index is like 109. Like I have no idea. It just like skyrocketed out of nowhere.
You're baking over there. Dude,
I know.
oh shoot. It's gonna be 91 at the highest today.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'm further south than you. I don't get this.
We're like a solid 10 degrees more than that. It's crazy. So I'm just trying to stay inside, trying to keep AC high.
Yeah,
Stay alive.
it's saying that it's 90 degrees right now, and I was looking it up, and that it feels like 95, which it does. It feels really hot. I didn't want to guess. I wanted to be accurate.
There you go. There you go. No fake news. No misinformation here.
No. So Peter, how was your week, dude?
My week, it's been pretty good. The last week, I was completely alone at the office, the church office that I work in, and this week everybody was back, so it was a lot less lonely, which is good.
That's
but
great.
The week before, pretty much everybody in the office got to go to Orlando, but me. So a little.
Well, hey, you got to come over to see me, so that was nice on your day
That's
off.
true. That is true. Yeah, we had some good times, John. If for those of you who weren't there,
which is probably probably some of you,
Maziot conquered his fear and jumped off a 25-foot jump into the ocean or the bay.
True. It's true.
The bay.
It's true. I'm gonna tell that story. But you got anything else about your week that was great?
Nope.
Yeah. So yeah, what was it? Last Friday. We're recording this on a Friday. So last Friday, a week from today, you and some friends came down here, and we went out on a boat, and we were gonna jump off this like storm tower. And I was so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while. And then I chickened out so hard. Like incredibly hard. It was embarrassing. It was not really. Well, at the time I wasn't too embarrassed. Then I was like,
that's good.
That was terrible because
I was trying not to lay it on too thick.
Yeah, it was bad though. I mean, I just stood there waiting to jump like 8 or 9 times. I probably a total of like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
just waiting. It was horrible.
But in your defense, it looked so high. Like once you were up there, and from the ground or like from the base of the storm tower, it looked like, oh, like that's no problem. But then once you got up there, like where your eyes are at, or like a full like 5 or 6 feet from like where your feet are, so it looks even more intense, and it was horrifying when I jumped off.
True. Okay, you said that when you jumped, you were scared the whole way down.
I was terrified.
All right. So because we went with a couple guys from my church. That's how we got on the boat. Obviously, you were there, Peter, but for those of you who weren't, and
just
to clarify, and we and I just kept thinking about it. I was like, man, I really chickened out. And then like they were like joking around, nothing like they were, oh, you didn't jump, and oh, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I think that if I ever get another opportunity, I would do it. I really want to do it. And so I was saying that, and they were like, all right, well then let's go out. And this was Monday. So Monday of this week. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I was a little bit scared, to be honest, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And we went out. It was super choppy, which made the boat ride because without a bunch of people in a boat, it was like super fast, and it felt, and like water was spraying up. It was like very dramatic. And so literally so we go out, we get there, and I told you that I was going. You're like, no video, no proof. So I had them
No
take a
video,
video.
no proof.
I got out of the boat onto the storm tower. I went to the top. I climbed over the railing and I jumped off. Just like it was so quick. And I was like, and this is my thought process when I was going down. I was like, man, Peter said this is scary the whole way down. And then this is fun. And then I hit the water.
Oh
It
man.
was great.
Well,
And then I cut my hand on the way back up.
oh yeah, because it's an old like rusty barnacle-y ladder.
Yeah. Exactly.
So one, I'm proud of you for conquering your fear. I didn't think that you were going to do it in all honesty, but I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
But number two, yes, it was a horrifying free fall. And now the way we jumped was very different. Like you kind of just let your body do its thing and just kind of like all of your limbs were out. Whereas I went down like a pencil.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to like hit the water like as painlessly as possible. So I was going like, I don't know, maybe we were going at the same speed, but I just, it was like, it felt like 3-4 seconds of just like free fall to me. And I like just the whole way down, I was like, I really underestimated what this was going to feel like. And,
pull me back up, pull me back
pull
up.
me back, pull me back. So like the actual people, some people say like stepping off is the hard part or jumping off. And then like you're fine after that. For me, it was the opposite. I was like, I could be like, okay, mind over matter. Like I just got to make my, I just got to make my feet step off. But then like the actual fall was like so much scarier than I bargained for. But I would still do it again now that I've done
it was great.
Great time.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. But so I started off my week, because that was Monday, on a high note, and it was honestly amazing. And then the next few days, life has just been absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
Right? Dude, let me tell you, it has been such a good week. Then today. So I bought a bidet last week. Okay, because yes, exactly. Right. Ooh, because I want to experience it. I want to experience the high life. And I've heard some good things. And I've been hearing rumors like, are we going to go back into quarantine again? What's going to happen? And I'm like, I know what happened the last time regarding our butts and toilet paper. So I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. So I'm like, I'm going to
get your butt in quarantine.
I'm like gonna bypass all of it. That's my thought process. I'm like, I don't care. I've been wanting a bidet. I'm gonna buy it. I found one on sale, a really nice one, and it was very cheap on sale. And I was like, this is going to be great. And let me tell you, I got it today. And literally as soon as I saw the guy come up with it, I didn't even let it put it on my porch. I was like, here, I'll take it. I took it. I brought it immediately into my bathroom, ripped this puppy open, and I start screwing it in, everything. It's supposed to be super easy. And I'm like, okay, here we go. It's on. I turn on the water and it starts leaking. I'm like, oh no. So then I take it off, I re-screw it in. I had to do a couple of things. Well, then finally, I put it back on. I turn the water on, and the part that connects the bidet to the bidet to the actual like water valve, it wasn't tight enough, and it started leaking again. So I tightened it. When I tightened it, I don't know what happened, but like the whole screw came out. Like if you ever tighten it where it just like loosens again, like you tighten it so much, it did that and it busted out and water started shooting all over. I just started screaming. I was just screaming. I was just screaming, and I was like, and then I turned it the wrong way, so it started coming out even more. And so then finally I like turned it off, and water's just all over my bathroom, and like I'm throwing towels on it, trying to soak it all up. Needless to say, needless to say, there we go. Needless to say, we will not be sponsored by Full Rain ever if they decide to, because I'm sending that puppy back.
Really?
It won't work.
So Terrible. It was busted. It wasn't.
It was busted.
Okay. Wow.
And so I'm depressed.
I had a similar. So I had a similar experience actually in college. I was helping a friend install it, and he was a lot bigger than I was. And so I was the one that was like kind of like reaching back in behind the toilet, and it was it was really hard to just manage. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm back there. I've got like my basically like my head. I'm like on my knees, like my head is like over the toilet. And I'm reaching back behind it with both hands, and something similar happens. Like I just was twisting something. It was too long ago to remember exactly, but and I start getting sprayed in the water. But instead of like from pulling away, it must have not been too intense. But instead of pulling away, I just like stayed there, like my
Oh,
face just continually getting sprayed until I like had fixed it.
what a
And then I
legend.
got up and I think everybody clapped. Is what happened at the end.
No, wait,
That's how I remember that.
were you like honored to use the bidet after?
I never used it.
That's
I
really
don't know
messed
why.
up, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
I know.
you went to war for that, man.
It was fully operational, and I never went for it.
Yeah, so now I need to find a new bidet. And you
But
know what?
isn't it correct though that with a bidet you can't use toilet paper?
I
Like you're
actually had
not
no idea.
because this friend of mine, he got a certain set of like specialized towels of some sort.
Oh.
He called them butt towels. But he said this is what you do with a
That
bidet.
can't be the name. That can't be the
Yeah,
name.
trademarked. He said this is what you use with a bidet, so I just took his word for it. But
I've
I
heard
don't
that
know.
like you use like a little bit to like dab after, but
Well, we're really getting into it here.
wow.
This is not what we plan to
Yeah.
talk about today at
No,
all.
but I just wanted to show you the comparison of how I had my highest moment and my lowest moment. And
I'm
now
sorry.
I'm wrecked.
Yeah, that was an emotional roller coaster.
It really was.
You
But
want to have some
Peter,
more?
yeah. So Peter, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about our best high school stories, most
Oh
memorable.
yes.
So when we were at John's house a few days, a bunch of us that were all just friends in high school and throughout college, we were just spent all this time reminiscing about past stories, and it was just such a good time. So we thought it would be a great idea to come on the Peel, with our other family and
Oh,
kind of relive some of these memories too.
with our
Some
other
of these,
family.
yes,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm excited for this. So we got a couple stories, and you want to kick it off?
Sure. I got a little list.
Yeah, I have one too. I'm looking at
I'll
it.
kind of start with just an honorable mention, just something like cringy about me when I was like kind of, I don't know if I was in high school quite yet. Hopefully I wasn't, but
Oh,
it was
I have a
like,
cringy one too.
it was like, what's it called? Junior high.
Yeah,
What is junior high? Isn't it just
middle school,
middle
six.
school?
Yeah, it's just middle school. It's just they
Why do they
use.
just call it that?
So I get. I don't. I guess like when like 100 years ago. I don't know when our parents and stuff were younger. It was just junior high because
Okay.
it was just eight like seventh and eighth grade, which is
I can
dumb.
get with that. So when I was in seventh or eighth grade, we would be out like this is when I was first like dipping my toes into like youth events, youth group stuff.
Oh,
And
I
so
know.
I just remember like there were times where I had a YouTube channel and I would like make these, little like stop motion videos, but my parents gave me a digital camera. So sometimes I would bring the digital camera, this little thing, which seems so like cringy now because like all kids like just have iPhones now. But I would bring this digital camera with me and just like film like different things going on. Just like if I was like at a table with people, I would just like film whatever they were doing across the table. And now I look back and I just cringe so hard at that. I was like, why did I think that that was like an okay thing to do? Like,
Well,
why was it? What was I gonna do with that like footage anyways? So maybe
I
I was vlogging. That's all it
oh,
was.
you were vlogging before it was cool.
It was. I was.
Wow. I
We
remember
were.
being at I remember being at was it Shady Maple? It's like this huge buffet in
That
Pennsylvania.
that's the one that stands out to me
Yeah,
too.
and I just remember like I remember you kind of like looking and noticing something going down at the table, and you just slowly bringing your camera up and like discreetly taking video. And I remember just looking over and be like, be like, Peter, what are you doing?
which is
Oh,
very ironic because that's honestly what I do a lot of today. Like I work at a church, I do a lot of video stuff. And so like in between services, like I'll be out in the lobby and
Discreetly
trying to get
filming.
shots of like people like, you know, having conversation and stuff, because I use that video for all kinds of things. And the moment like people notice, it's over. So it's like I try to do it like discreetly. If they like look up, I just like pretend I was filming something else. But it goes back all the way to Shady Maple when I was
Oh,
doing it in junior high.
you were born for this, Peter.
Apparently, I guess I just haven't outgrown it, is the long and short of it. I didn't realize that until just now.
You should wear the glasses with like the mic on it. I mean, with the camera on it, so you can,
Oh
yeah, like hidden
man,
cameras.
there
There
we
you go.
go.
Does your church have any security cameras in the lobby that you
We
can
do.
just use that footage?
Well, welcome to our church. I could just see the footage. It's like black and white,
It's
super grainy.
overhead shot of people. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh
All
man.
right, you're up.
All right. Well, this is my honorable mention cringy story. So I remember when we went on this youth fall retreat, and there was a lot of cringe, well, a lot of funny stuff that happened. And I think was that our junior? It must have been our junior year.
Had to have been.
It had to be, and our junior year of high school. And oh man, I really wish I was younger. But we we had this fight night. Do you remember that? So like
Oh yeah.
this is actually cool. There was like where we were staying, where all the guys were, was you walked in and it was just like lobby. And then there was like a wing to the right and a wing to the left of just these long, long rooms with like beds. And we took a bunch of the mattresses, actually two our youth pastor and another youth pastor took a bunch of mattresses, put them like on the floor, on the walls, everywhere, just completely stacked them all over the room so everything was padded. And they just hosted this huge fight night of like all with all the guys, like taking turns wrestling. And so me and Chevre, which Chevre he was on the Star Wars episode. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a friend of ours. He was there this past weekend too. And we decided to wrestle. So we wrestled and it was fine. And when we got done, and
Who won?
then I actually don't remember.
Oh,
I really
okay.
don't.
Maybe we need a rematch.
Yeah, I'll just say him. I don't think it was, but I'll just say him. And so then we decided that he's like, hey, what if we actually like choreograph something and do it again, and we can make it super
Oh,
funny. And this is like we
oh
were like, yeah, this is a
no.
great. Do you remember this?
I'm starting to.
And so we choreographed the whole fight, but we started off by having the idea of taking our shirts off just immediately. As soon as they say go, just ripping our shirts off and just start wrestling. And so we were expecting like big laughs because it was gonna be like funny. Like nobody's expecting these guys just, and they're just ripping their shirts off and going crazy, and like we're doing like crazy moves. And so we're like, yeah, we're laughing. This is gonna be great. We go back in. We're like, hey, we'll go next. We'll go next. So we rip our shirts off and we look around and everyone's just looking at us like just like dead face, like just so weirded out. And
I
like,
just totally
yeah, it was
died.
just, and then we start doing these things, and literally it was just so cringy. And then so like we just like stopped like a few seconds later, and everyone just looked at us and we're like, okay. So we walked off the mats, and it was like an awkward like 10
Oh
seconds of like nothing, and then they just started back up again, and it was like the cringiest thing. Oh, it was
man.
horrible.
Mm,
And that's just one
that's
of
really rough.
many cringy things. I feel like that's the
Ah,
one I remembered.
I kind of love the cringe though. It
Oh,
hurts, but it's so good at the same time.
it's good for the future.
It is. It is. Um, okay, so here's one of me. This is actually from um, high school now. This is when I was kind of, I guess it had to have been the summer right before my junior year. Um, and so I mean, I grew up homeschooled. I was, still some of the
I
social
was
stuff I was just
homeschooled,
working with,
homeschooled.
I was working on. Um, but anyways, this was kind of like one of my first big trips with the youth group. And I was hyped for it. But didn't have like a lot of friends there. It was like you and me kind of actually like reconnected on that
Yeah.
trip. We hadn't like seen each other in a while, but so I remember one time we were going to like an evening service, and we were walking. It was in Columbus, Ohio. We were walking to the convention center,
Oh
and
shoot.
so on this trip, man, you're starting to remember, aren't you?
Oh.
So on this trip, there was this one girl in the youth group that was like much older than I was, but she was always like very like motherly to like all like the younger guys, I guess. Um, and like, you know, crossing the road, just like being funny, like, all right, like hold my hand, stuff like that. It wasn't weird, but anyways, we're walking and I'm kind of like walking on my own, like some of the groups ahead of me, some of the groups behind me.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, like somebody just like grabs my hand and like is walking next to me. For whatever reason, I just think it's this one like older girl. And so I just like go with it. I don't even look over at like who's like holding my hand. And we go to like the end of the block, probably walking for like at least like 30 seconds. And I look over like halfway there, and it's this random girl I've never seen in my life. And it just like shocked me. I was just like so stunned. I like didn't know what to do. I just like kept walking. and
Dude.
then and then I hear behind me like some of the youth leaders are like, yeah, Peter. Like what? And I was like, what is going on right now? I just
Dude,
was more and more confused.
we've never talked about this. Dude,
Oh, it was
I
weird.
literally thought that you just like noticed and we're just like, whatever. Like you looked so cool. Like just like, yeah.
Yeah,
In your mind, you were like, what the crap?
yeah. But I did just kind of
Wow.
roll with it too. I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, just like jerk away. Like, who are you? I didn't know what to do. But anyways, the story gets so at the end of the block, I don't remember if I asked her a name or whatever. Like we just kind of like laughed it off. Like her youth group was like right behind us walking, and I guess like maybe someone dared her to do it. I don't know. But we got like a picture for whatever reason. And then the next day, this at this point, I was like, wow, that was the wildest thing that's happened in my life. It was just like
Because
how
you
I
were
was like thinking
homeschooled.
about it. And it was like, oh wow, like Peter, I'm like, dang, like I felt like I was cool, like because I felt like I'd done something cool,
Yeah.
just and having like rolled with it. At the next day, we are at the convention center, um, and it was like during the day, so people like going around doing their different things. But our youth group was in the convention center, and there's suddenly like I noticed like, oh, this girl is like her youth group. She's with her youth group like right
There
next to
you
us.
go.
And then some of the older guys are like, oh, like Pete, you gotta go talk to her now.
Mhm.
Like yesterday went really well, like you gotta go talk to her again. And I like never talked to a girl in my life. Um,
Ever.
but anyways, I don't know how I worked up the courage. I like went over and I was like, oh hey, and I was like asking her like, what are you like, what group are you, like where are you guys from, like, what are you here for, that kind of thing. And this girl was like 10 times more awkward than I expected her to be. And she just kind of like I think she answered like one of my questions and then just kind of like just kind of like looked the other direction and was like done with the conversation. And I froze. I like didn't know what to do. I felt so awkward. I was and I just like I like just walked away.
Hey,
And I,
easy come, easy go.
for whatever reason, I didn't like walk back to like my youth group, which was like 5 feet away. I just like walked like through the convention center, and I tried to go into this like Starbucks, but it wasn't the right entrance. So like the door was like closed. And then I like kept walking, and then I was like, where am I going? I was like, what am I doing? And
You-
so I waited like a minute and then walked back to the youth group, and then everybody was just kind of like, that was kind of tough to watch, Pete.
you were just
That was
walking.
probably, and it turned from like the coolest moment to the most cringy moment. So
Wow.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was a lot of cringy moments on that trip. I just
Yeah.
remember one that just like was just so awkward for me was when one guy in our group, Dan, would just randomly like grab me by the shoulder. He was older and bigger than I was, and he'd pull me over to like just like turn me around to a bunch of random girls. Do you remember this? And he'd be like, "This is John. He's single. He's single." And that was it. And I was just like I didn't know what to do. Like,
He's just like holding you there.
yeah, he was just like, he's single. He's single. And I was just like, and they would just walk away. I was like, this is so incredibly
Why is this
awkward.
happening to me? No.
Then
Yeah.
we got pranked hard by the older guys on that trip. Oh, such a
Yeah.
crazy trip.
Yeah. We survived though, you
We
know.
did. We're
We came out better
survivors.
friends than when we went in.
That's for sure. But I don't really have any other cringy stories that I was remembering, but I do have some of my favorites. So one way, and I'm not sure if this was right after high school or in high school, but one summer you built a raft with your brother.
Oh yeah.
Was this on your list?
No, not at
Okay.
all.
So this was one of
All right, my brother
my
barely helped. It was me. It was me.
it was all you.
I built a
Peter
raft
built this raft
out of
with
driftwood.
out of driftwood and with the slight help of Samuel. And you hit it like, or I guess you built it in the woods by your house. And then at the end of, so
Yep.
you were talking about it all summer. Oh, you guys, I'm building this boat. It's gonna be awesome. Then finally, the end of summer, you guys, I'm ready to put this thing in the pond near my house. So we're like, all right, we all come over. We pick up the boat, we drive it over, and then like, so where this pond is, there's a bunch of like houses like where their backyards just kind of like dump into the pond. So it's like right in front of like you're in the center of everyone's houses. It's like the center of your community. There's a sign that says no fishing, no swimming. I think that's it. That's all it says.
Yeah.
And so we put this thing in the water. We're all playing like some sort of like water themed songs and
Oh, it was Moana.
is
I
that what it
remember now.
was? It was
Yeah.
Moana. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, we're playing Moana and we put this thing in the water and it just like immediately sinks. So then, but I had brought a blow up raft in my trunk and we like blew it up halfway and stuck it underneath it. And then you remember that part, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then we had a rope so we could pull it back in if we needed to. So you go out, you have your paddle, you're going around, we pull you back in with the rope, have a great time, and you're so excited. You're like, Maziot, why don't you get on? Give it a shot. You're so excited. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. I get to go next. This is awesome. Thanks, Peter, my good friend, my good and trusted friend. So I get on and I'm a little nervous. You're like, no, you're fine. You had stood up while you were out there. So you're like, you're fine. Because it was like a little wobbly. So I get in and go out. I get right in the middle. And you're like, stand up. It's fun. This is why I don't trust you. So I stand up, and when I do, you just ever so slightly pull the rope, and the whole thing comes flying out from under me. I smack the water, screaming like a banshee, just frantically swimming to the shore. And about 5 minutes later, the police showed up. And the guy, I just remember he comes up. I'm just sitting there soaking wet. You all are just standing, we're all sitting around. A couple guys are standing there. And he's just like asking for our names. And he's like, yeah, they just called me to come out here because you're not really supposed to be swimming. And what?
I remember the officer, he comes up and he just looks at us. He's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. And he's like, well, you guys shouldn't be swimming. We technically weren't swimming. We were on a raft. And I was like, and I fell in. And I was like, so we're like, it doesn't say anything about being on a boat or a raft or anything like that. And he just kind of laughed and he was like, well, I guess that's true. But yeah, they just call here. He's like, does anybody live here? And we all just pointed to you. But that was a great time. And we have it on video somewhere. I just got to find it.
We got to find it.
It was a great one.
That was a good memory.
And honestly, Peter, I don't trust you, but it was worth it. It was
it was worth it. The best part was that you didn't really realize that was the way it happened until you went back like the next day and watched the video. You had like a GoPro, and in the video you can see me like tug on the rope and you go down.
That's right. I just thought I fell in.
And you called me and you were like so pissed. You were like, that was you.
It's kind of like when they find the footage from the koi pond in The Office and Jim like darts back and Michael goes.
It was
flying.
Exactly like that. Oh,
so legendary.
I completely did not own up to it in the moment. I was just like, it was like, oh, John fell off. Oh no.
Dude, you didn't own up to a lot of stuff. Remember when I took the blame for when I got in trouble for pranking a youth leader and it was you?
What
okay
happened?
So
the car?
we when we had, do you want to tell her or you want me to?
Oh, I mean, I can get it started. So we were having a sleepover, and it was like probably like a dozen guys, and that's
I
like
think it was 15.
that's I mean that's like the first problem. But so it's like a little after midnight, and we kind of like just go out like wanting to like prank some people, and this was like in the youth group, like it was pretty common to like TP cars and stuff like that. And so a few people went to like someone's house, and then a few of us, there's too many of us to fit in one car, so we were just in a bunch of different cars. So at one point we all kind of split up, and our group goes to do our own thing, and they're like, oh, let's go to this one youth leader's house, and we'll like let's go to CVS and like grab something to like put on our car. And so and one of the guys in the car was another youth leader at the time. And
They're
so
like, it's fine, it's fine.
it's his idea to go to CVS to get some like chili salsa stuff, like cheesy salsa. Be like, oh yeah, let's put that on our car. And I mean,
Legendary.
I like to say, as I like to say, I didn't know any better. That's gonna be on my tombstone one day. I didn't
I
know
was gonna say, how
any
many times do you have to say
better.
that? What else
Yeah.
did you do?
So we go there and we just like basically dump the whole thing like just on the hood of the car. It's only like a 6-inch like pile of chili on our car.
Did you like
We
put chips on the top too?
and some chips, of course. I did forget that. Um, and then we drive away into the night. And you want to finish the story?
Yeah. So from our perspective, what happened? So we originally went to another youth leader's house to TP his car, and we get out of the car. We start. You all get back in your car, blare the horn, and drive off. So like literally, you left us out there like exposed. So we had to run back to the car, and we drive back, and then we're like waiting. We're like, where are they? It's been like an hour. And then you were like, oh, we went to. I don't think you said it. Somebody said like, oh, we went to this youth leader. It was a completely different youth leader, his house, and we started to prank them, but then they saw us, so we did. But it was like an hour, and we're like, that doesn't add up. Something weird happened.
I
But
don't
like,
know
whatever.
why we wouldn't have told you guys, but I mean that's the way it happened. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I don't. I think it was that the youth leader that was there that kind of covered it up. I think he didn't want to get in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And so we stay up pretty much half the night. A bunch of more crazy stuff happens, and I get a call we fall asleep. I get a call at 6 a.m. with the youth
Oh.
leader that you all put the nacho cheese on her car, screaming at me, John, I can't. I answer the phone like, hello, John. She's like, I'm driving to your house right now. There's nacho cheese all over my car. She's like, I can't get it off. I took it to the drive-thru. You're gonna ruin my paint. She's like, I'm coming to your house now. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm like, what are you saying? I'm like, I don't know any of this. And
Oh,
you're
poor
just like,
John.
like she's freaking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then finally, like 20 minutes later, I'm like, we're trying to figure out like what happened. We're like, it had to be those guys, and you're like, it wasn't us, it wasn't us, it wasn't us, because you all were in too deep, so you had to,
We were in
cover
too
it up.
deep. We were
So
up against a corner, like we had nothing.
so she gets to the house. She gets out of the car, slams the door. She's still yelling. I can't believe you all did this. And I'm like, we didn't do it. I'm like, if anything, it was them. We were gone for an hour. I'm like, you know what though? We'll clean it off your car, but we didn't do this. She was like, no, I know you did. I know you did it. And then finally we cleaned it all up. The next day, I don't know how it happened, but the truth came out, and you all had to pay her back for her car wash, and that was the last we heard of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
wild.
was what happened. I just remember like straight up lying when like someone like you guys kept asking us like, did you do it? I think like someone's mom asked us if we did it, and
Probably my mom.
I probably your mom, and I was just like, no, we didn't do it. And I was just like so petrified because I knew how mad this youth leader was. But yeah, not a good situation.
Yeah. Crazy
Yeah.
time. Crazy time. A lot of
Great youth
smells.
group though.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy world, a lot of smells.
All right, Pete. Wait, was
All
that?
right,
Wait,
I'm up
wait,
next.
wait. Are you, or was that a
That's a
story
good
that turned into
question.
another story? What story did you tell before that?
You told the pond.
Oh
So
yeah,
then,
okay. So now, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
so whose turn is it?
Yours.
Okay, sounds good to me.
We tag team that one.
Um, so here's one. This is kind of short and sweet, but you, me, and Chevrolet used to do this thing all the time we called car time.
Oh,
And that was
dude.
basically us just like after dark, we would go over to Chevrolet's house and just like sit in the car, like in his driveway or like somewhere else in the neighborhood and just like talk about life, like talk about what was going on. And probably a good bit
It
of
was
like,
really therapy sessions, to be
it was
honest.
therapy sessions, we had it tough, and we just worked through life's toughest questions together. um but there was a
You
lot
think
of,
she likes me?
yeah, a lot of like girl stuff, um just figuring out life. But anyways, there is this one girl that we knew, and at the time, like only you and I really knew her. Chevrolet had never met her, but I won't like say her name, but
We'll just put her
basically
at.
like, yeah, like we'll tag her. um so essentially she had like, we
Ooh.
went to like her most like recent Instagram post or whatever, and like Chevrolet saw it, and I don't know whose idea it was.
It was probably mine.
It was probably
I
yours,
tend to put people up to things.
but you do that. That's so true, but in a good way. So anyways, you convinced Chevrolet to comment something on this. Was it a comment or a direct message? I
Comment.
think it was a comment. Yeah, which is even bolder. Chevrolet, having never met this girl, got convinced her to type out, "I can't believe I get to call you mine," in like
With
a
a bunch of
selfie of,
hearts.
with a bunch of different colored hearts. It was like a selfie of this girl, and he never met her. He types out, "I can't believe I get to call you mine," and they were like following each other. I think they like knew of each other, but had never met.
Did
Or
he just follow her that night?
it might have been that, something like that.
I don't know.
But I think it gets deleted like within 10 minutes, and like nothing else like ever happens. I mean, she doesn't like say
Like,
like, "Dude, hey, why did your friend like do that?" or like, mentioning,
did
talking
we
to
ever
him about it.
did we ever even see her again?
I don't think we ever saw her again, which is kind of a good thing when you think about
Yeah. Yeah, we just that was a good way to end a friendship.
it.
Just
Yeah, exactly.
or an
That's how to
acquaintanceship.
burn a bridge right there. Oh, I love
Oh
it.
yeah,
Good
dude. I
times.
reminiscing about old times are just the
That's
best.
right. That's
Well,
right.
speaking of, we just talked about pranks. One of my favorite stories that we did, and this is probably my top one, maybe sec. I don't know. Yeah, probably my favorite story of all time that we've done,
Ooh.
which was at. So we went to Fine Arts, which is like this with the church we were at, the Assemblies of God. They have every year, and it's a competition for different categories, and you can get scholarships and things like that. So we went to National Fine Arts, and while we were there, we got ruthlessly pranked by a youth leader that was just it emotionally
Well,
and
by
psychologically scarred us.
by all the girls, but
All the
it
girls.
was youth leader sponsored
Yeah.
pranking.
And yeah, and I mean, basically, like they just kept making us think we were going crazy by like knocking on the door and then running away. They found a way to like hide in a room that looked like it was off limits. And
Oh yeah.
like 10 minutes later, the youth leader come to the door and like be like, guys, you have to stop doing this. Like you have to stop knocking on their
Oh,
door.
I
Like
forgot
and like
about that.
telling us we were gonna get in trouble. And we were like, we're not doing it. We can never prove it though. So then finally at the end of the week, we're like, seems like we're in serious trouble. And then the truth comes out, and then they gloat and for like 2 hours and just go
Yeah, a lot more
crazy.
happened, but
Yeah, that's the short and sweet. So then we decide when we get back, we are going to get revenge, and we all pile we all pile into our friend Justin's car, and we're all wearing like ski masks and like all kind of stuff, and except for
homemade ski
Justin,
mask.
homemade ski mask. Justin's just wearing like a tiny little Zorro mask, as you can obviously tell who it is. And we park near their driveway, and we just go, we TP their car like crazy, and then we leave like a little note on their door, and then we just ring the bell and we book it. And instead of leaving, we get in the car and we drive back, like to their court and like around the court to their house. We're all wearing masks, like for no reason at all, because they obviously know who it is. And they're just standing at their doorway looking at us like, what in the world? We just pull off. Then we start getting text messages, come back. So we go back again. We send you out to ring their doorbell like a bunch of times and then jump back in the car. So you run, you get out of the car, you
Wow,
run,
did
you
I
ring
do
the
that?
doorbell. Yeah. And then you run back. And as you're running back, they open the door. So Justin just hits the gas and pulls off. And you're chasing the car down the block. And then
Oh, I forgot that.
and then finally he like slows down, you jump in, and then he turns around and he goes to their house again, and then just like starts yelling out the window or something, and then just pulls off.
Oh
And then like
man, I forgot that.
yeah, they told us to come back and clean it, and we never did.
We never did. Yep. That was our revenge.
Wow.
But yeah, I do remember. I didn't remember a lot of that or like my role, but I
Yeah.
do remember like running away, like ringing the doorbell, running away, and then Justin, like just see the car like leaving me behind. I was like, no, I'm gonna die. I was terrified in that moment. I was like, don't you leave. That's a great one. All right, should we do? Is that it, or what do you want to do?
Do you have one more? I have one more.
Okay, let's do one more.
All right.
So I remember. Okay, I'm deciding between a couple. Oh, there's actually three I'm trying to decide between here. Okay. I think the best story of the three is this time that it was at the same events, the same conference as the fight night story that you had with the mattresses and the awkward taking off the shirts. And so our youth pastor was like the king of not getting pranked. Like you could never pull one over on our youth pastor. Like it was just impossible. Like he was always like way ahead of you, and like always had he always had the last laugh. And we were like, no, we're gonna prank this guy. And so we're leaving. It's like the final night. Our youth pastor is still at the chapel, but we like we basically like I think it was still going on, and we like left early to like go back to our cabin.
Yeah. We're like pray or prank our youth leader or youth pastor.
And we had another like youth leader like that was helping us. You know, he was like kind of our middleman. He was in
on it.
He might have been playing both sides, but so basically there's like 5 or 6 of us, and we go back to our youth pastor's room and we all like pile into his shower,
which at most could maybe comfortably fit 2 people, maybe.
Let's not make it weird.
I'm just saying it's small. I'm trying to say like
very small.
There's 5 people
like a
in this
camp
tiny
shower, you know,
like just slightly bigger than one person, like so small.
Yep. And so our plan was we're gonna hide in here. He's eventually gonna come back from chapel, and he's gonna have to go to the bathroom because reasons. We just assumed. Like we'd been tracking his schedule for days.
So we had it all planned.
Our plan was this is at
8:57 he goes pee.
Yeah, this was a terrible idea, but we were just gonna wait till he gets in the bathroom, comes in the bathroom while we're in the shower, gets like on the toilet or something, and then we would all like bust out and like just go crazy on him. Like
I don't think we were gonna.
While he was vulnerable.
Wait, were we really gonna wait till he got on the toilet? I don't,
or else it's not really a prank, you know. That's how I remember it, at least.
Oh my god!
But like we're all waiting in there. We keep like hearing people outside the cabin. He comes into his room that has the bathroom attached, and he and this other youth leader that was in on it, they were sitting out there for probably like 30 minutes, like 40 minutes, yeah. And like there's 5 dudes in the shower, just like we're all trying to be like super quiet, but we're like letting out like a snicker like here and there, like, oh, we're gonna get him so good.
And also whispering. You all kept whispering.
Yeah, we were very
maybe not
probably louder than need be. But anyways, so we're there for like 40 minutes. Nothing happens, and we're like, when is he gonna come in? Oh, it's gonna be so sweet though when he does. We just gotta stick it out, guys. Um, we have to.
This is what
And
dreams are made of.
eventually he comes in the bathroom, flips on the light, and he reaches over the shower curtain and pours a giant thing of water on all of us.
Wait, no.
No? What happened?
His arms shot through the shower curtain and he reached through all of us and turned the water on and held us in.
Oh,
you don't remember that? So it was
no.
just like water was just flying at us like crazy and we couldn't get out.
Oh, what a counter prank. Which was so much better than our original prank.
Yes.
You know? So the short story is that, or the moral of the story is that you can never get the upper hand on our old youth pastor.
Never.
And I don't think anyone has ever tried since.
Nope. They heard the rumors. They got scared.
All right.
Well, this is one that I'm kind of involved in, but not directly. Our friend Justin used to entertain us because he was just crazy. And we used to have him go in his car and run down boxes in my neighborhood.
Damn
and
right.
this has a special place in my heart because we used to watch him and it just entertained us, like literally. So you go out, we get these huge boxes and we just line one up with in the middle of the street.
In the middle of the street.
He would get drive up to it. Sometimes he'd get out and bow to it or something honorable, and then he'd get back in his car, slowly back up, screaming beep, beep at the top of his lungs, play some crazy song, and just scream the most high-pitched, scariest scream you ever heard, floor it, and just bang into these boxes. So it was like nothing was happening, no damage was happening, nothing dangerous. It
just cardboard.
Just cardboard, but it would make the loudest crash you ever heard.
It would scrape under his car, keep coming with him.
And that's how we had nothing better to do, so that's how we'd spend our time being entertained. And I just love that story.
It was very wholesome high school. Very wholesome high school years.
Until one of my neighbors called the police and said that we were racing, and the police came out, and we had to explain to them. I think everyone had already left, just me and him. We had to explain that he was just hitting boxes with his car, and the cop was just kind of okay.
So on one hand, very wholesome high school. On the other hand, plenty of run-ins with the cops.
Yes. Man. High school, crazy time, a lot of snow.
High school was good. Maybe we'll do a college memories episode one time, even though we didn't go to college together. But the best is yet to come.
Amen to that. Well, that was our trip down memory lane, and we hope you enjoyed listening to this week on the Weekly Peel, where we shoot the breeze so you don't have to. And we will see you next week.